Rent and usage, eh? Now the two things why I go take explain this thing, hopefully it will help you understand. So to rent something and to use the thing where you rent. You understand? Now, unless you still live with your mama. But if you know they live with your mama, now you say you don't rent house. Even though say you still live with your mama, you don't rent something at some point, one way or the other. Either you don't rent wheelbarrow to take carry something, or you don't share rent something. Now, before the streaming era, they rent movies. For those of us who don't old, rent movie. Go for all these movie shop. Should I rent that VHS cassette or you rent disc? You understand? If you pay membership, so pay maybe think 5K. I don't forget the amount what they pay that time. But that amount where you go pay for months. If you just rent this movie, if you watch and finish, you drop and back. You rent this other one, you drop and back. You understand? So then I rent. Another way to understand them now, house rent. The landlord will rent them to you, now you still get the house, now you still get the property. Even for that movie shop, the movie shop where you from rent the thing, now him still buy them, keep them there. So now him still get that copy of that movie where you they rent. Emphasis on the copy of the movie where they rent. No be you get them, you just rent them. Now, since you don't understand the rent aspects, the usage aspects, now I go explain now. Keep in mind, say, wetin we dey talk about na intellectual property. Again, I no be lawyer. I just dey explain things how I understand them. Now, intellectual property we dey talk about, they quite different from the land property, but look like both of them go hand in hand because it looks like still the same terms to take explain them. You understand? Now, in this producer case now, if I knack beats, I fit give you lease license or exclusive license. If you dey waka, you go see something like lease, property for lease. Just not the same thing wey e be. House for lease, office for lease. You understand? Now the same thing wey e be. So if dem lease that office give you, e no mean say na you get am. Though in the case of the land property or this office thing, if landlord give you rent house for 1 year, na only you in give that rent for that 1 year. But in the case of intellectual property, it dey a bit different. If me as a producer give you lease license for you, I fit still lease that same property to another songwriter. I fit still lease them to another songwriter. If you now, why lease them to first, use DistroKid release them, maybe the next artist or songwriter who lease the thing to, can't use Dito. Dito go definitely at some point ask him, say, how far? It be like these beats, you lease them, Abi? Because we notice, say, somebody don't use them before. If na lease, you lease them, I beg, let us know so that you go collect license from the producer. She understand? If the next person decide to say he want use a symphonic or Amuse go likely ask him the same thing. Whether Amuse see am say somebody don't lease am first or not, most of the time they go ask you these documents just because they know say the whole music business and the intellectual property business, they mostly involve leasing of something to something. Lease property to this person we want use them. Lease these beats to this songwriter, and the same beat you feel lease them to different other songwriters. Another way to also explain this thing for you, maybe you go also clear, be say, the subscription where you dey subscribe, Spotify or Apple Music or Boomplay, depending on the streaming platform where they use. Now rent, they rent that music give you. That subscription where they subscribe now. So say for instance now, I release song on Spotify. You now we want listen to my song. You guys subscribe to Spotify or Mukusen Apple Music they use. You guys subscribe to Apple Music so that you go fit listen to that my song. That subscription where you subscribe, now rent money you pay. You just pay a rent money so that you go fit get access to listen to that my song. Now still you rent my song. Because the moment your subscription finish, you not go fit listen to that song again. You understand? In the case of Apple Music, Spotify, at least if your subscription finish, you go still fit listen free. They go disturb you with ads, AudioMac too, and whatnot. But I think some of them where you download, you fit no listen to them offline unless you subscribe again. Same thing with Boomplay. So you see, rent and usage. So your Spotify subscription na rent you dey pay. Me now as an artist, I distribute the song through DistroKid. Tell DistroKid say, Spotify get the license and rights now to rent this my song to people we won't listen to them. So those people now we won't listen to them go pay money. Now keep in mind, Spotify if it rents that my song to 100,000 listeners, and those 100,000 listeners go pay money to take listen to that my song. Rent. She understand? So everything we get to do with this whole beats, maybe one producer give this artist one beat, can't give him the same beat. Now lease in the lease them, in the rent them. So if you want make it be say now only you get them, it kind of goes maybe different ways, both ways, or one or two different ways. Buy exclusive license. So exclusive, only me. So these beats now you they give me rights, only me. So these beats now you they give only me the rights to use them. You no give another person these same beats, abi. The producer still retain in publishing. No, everything also depend on agreements. If you be saying still get some points, maybe still they collect like maybe 2 or 5% from the sound recording royalties. That depend on how una deal. Some artists feel say, custom beats. I want this type of beat, or different ways to take work this thing, But the focus now that lease thing. The moment producer give you lease license, which is rent license, if it rent them to every other person where you want, as much as possible. But if he give you exclusive license, which usually they cost more, then now only you in give the license to that sound recording to use that sound recording. She understand? So now here we go end this very matter for today. I do it for a comment session.